The black technology of data center. What is NPO, CPO? Let's get some background first. Last year, the state released the strategy of counting the East and counting the West, which attracted the attention of the whole society. The so-called calculation in the East is actually the adjustment of the task division of the data center. We will transfer part of the computing power demand in the eastern coastal area to the data center in the western area. The reason for this is that the western region has abundant energy resources, and the natural temperature is lower, which can greatly reduce electricity bills and carbon emissions. We all know that data centers are the carriers of computing power. At this stage, we are engaged in digital transformation and digital economy, which cannot be separated from computing power and data centers. However, the power consumption problem of the data center cannot be ignored. According to data, in 2021, the total electricity consumption of data centers nationwide will be 216.6 billion kilowatt-hours, accounting for 2.6% of the country's total electricity consumption, equivalent to the annual power generation of 3 Gorges hydropower stations and the total electricity consumption of 1.8 Beijing areas. Such terrifying power consumption has put a lot of pressure on us to achieve the dual carbon goal. As a result, the industry has begun to step up research on how to reduce the energy consumption of data centers. Everyone should know that there is an important parameter indicator in the data center, that is PUE, power usage effectiveness. PUE equals total data center energy consumption, IT equipment energy consumption. The total energy consumption of the data center includes the energy consumption of IT equipment, as well as the energy consumption of other systems such as cooling and power distribution. We can see that in addition to the power used on the main device, there is also a large part of the energy consumption, which is used for heat dissipation and lighting. Therefore, to fiddle with the energy saving and emission reduction of the data center, the idea is in 2 points. 1. Reduce the power consumption of the main device. 2. Reduce power consumption in heat dissipation and lighting, mainly heat dissipation. Power challenges for master devices. Speaking of the main device, everyone immediately thinks of the server. The server is the most important device in the data center. It carries various business services, and has hardware such as CPU and memory, which can output computing power. But in fact, the main equipment also includes a class of important equipment, that is, network equipment, that is, switches, routers, firewalls, and so on. At present, the accelerated implementation of AI or ML, artificial intelligence and machine learning, coupled with the rapid development of the Internet of Things, makes the business pressure of data centers increasing. Network equipment has a big power consumer that you may not be familiar with, and that is SerDes. SerDes is the abbreviation of English serializer, DE serializer. In network equipment, it is an important device, mainly responsible for connecting optical modules and network switching chips. Simply put, it is to convert the parallel data from the switching chip into serial data for transmission. Then, at the receiving end, the serial data is converted into parallel data, NPO, CPO, debut, in order to reduce the working power consumption and heat dissipation power consumption of network equipment as much as possible. Under the leadership of OIF, Optical Internet Forum, many manufacturers in the industry jointly launched NPO-CPO technology. In November 2021, domestic equipment manufacturer Wagear Networks released the world's first 25.6T NPO cold-plate liquid-cooled switch. In March 2022, they released a 51.2T NPO cold-plate liquid-cooled switch, concept machine, NPO, English full name near-packaged optics, near-packaged optics. CPO, English full name co-packaged optics, co-packaged optics. Simply put, NPO-CPO is a technology that packages network switching chips and optical engines, optical modules. Our traditional connection method is called pluggable. Optical engines are pluggable optical modules. After the optical fiber comes over, it is inserted into the optical module, and then sent to the network switching chip, AISC, through the SerDes channel. As for CPO, the switching chip and the optical engine are assembled together on the same socket slot to form a co-package of the chip and the module. NPO is to separate the optical engine from the switch chip and assemble it on the same PCB substrate. You should be able to see that CPO is the final form, and NPO is the transitional stage. NPO is easier to implement and more open. The reason for the integration package is very clear, which is to shorten the distance between the switching chip and the optical engine, controlled at 5-7 cm, so that high-speed electrical signals can be transmitted between the two with high quality, satisfying bit error rate (BER) requirements for the system. After integration, higher density high-speed ports can also be realized, improving the bandwidth density of the whole machine. In addition, The integration makes the components more concentrated and also facilitates the introduction of cold plate liquid cooling. Behind the NPO CPO technology is actually the very popular silicon photonics technology. Silicon photonics is a large-scale integration technology of silicon-based optoelectronics with photons and electrons as information carriers. Simply put, it is to integrate a variety of optical devices on a silicon-based substrate to become an integrated optical circuit. It is a miniature optical system. The fundamental reason why silicon photonics is so popular is that microelectronics technology has gradually approached the performance limit, and traditional electric chips are becoming more and more powerless in terms of bandwidth, power consumption, and delay, so they changed it. Silicon light chip. This new track, advances in NPO CPO switches. NPO CPO technology is currently a popular research direction of major manufacturers, especially NPO, because it has the optimal open ecology and the industry chain is more mature. It can obtain the fastest benefits of cost and power consumption, so the development will land faster. It is worth mentioning that the technology and product development of NPO CPO is not a simple matter, but behind it is a test of an enterprise's overall research and development strength. I believe everyone has understood what NPO CPO is. These two technologies are undoubtedly the development direction of data center network equipment. Under the current wave of digitization, our pursuit of computing power and network communication capabilities is endless. While pursuing performance, we also strive to balance power consumption. After all, we are on a sustainable path. It is hoped that silicon photonics technology represented by NPO CPO can further accelerate the implementation and contribute to the green and low-carbon information infrastructure.